Cannock in Staffordshire has always been a Middle England kind of place, and not just geographically, always voting the way of the country.
Thank you.
But the mouths being fed from this free community food table give a sobering insight into just how deep the cost of living crisis is biting.
Chicken. Thank you very much.
Would you say you have a good job?
Yes, yeah, it's a good job, yeah. You know, I'm earning pretty decent money, but it's not enough. I'll have some beans, please.
Rebecca Flynn works full-time as an office manager for a day service for people with learning difficulties.
Can you have some of the chicken noodles, please?
On top of that, she has a second job going door-to-door evenings and weekends selling cosmetics and homeware.
I need to come here, otherwise we'd be living on bread.
Are you literally saying that you wouldn't have enough food to eat, even though you're working full-time?
Yeah, I wouldn't have enough food.
Is there anything more you can do?
No, nothing more I can do. Unless I win the lottery or get another job.
A third job?
A third job. 2 or 3 lots.
But it's not just Rebecca working all hours and needing food handouts to survive. Organisers say a third of the people who come to this food project are working full-time.
It's mad that you should have to. You're working in a good job, you'd think you'd be able to afford everything and going on holidays and everything like that, but in the reality, they're struggling to even put food on the table.
To what extent do you think the cost of living crisis is no longer just something that affects people on minimum wage or on benefits?
Well, we're seeing a massive increase in the people that are using the food table, people that are coming, we see them in their work outfits, and that's professionals that are nurses, and you don't expect them to be struggling. Because they're working full-time. It's everyone across the board.
What's clear is that people feel politically abandoned to their financial woes.
It should be noticed that people are in this state. No, local councils, local governments, they need to see what's going on, come to ground level. It's 2025, it shouldn't be like this.
Louise Schwartz didn't think getting a degree and then a job as a music teacher would leave her with money worries.
That's it. Think about your fingers in this next bit.
Would you call yourself middle class?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
And is this what you thought middle class at your stage of life, having worked hard and studied to be a teacher, would be?
No, definitely not.
After 20 years in the classroom, she now has 3 jobs, working 50 hours a week as a teaching coach at a software firm and giving private music lessons. Her husband is an estate agent. They have a mortgage and 3 cars, and together earn around £80,000 a year.
Where does all the money go for you?
We don't do expensive supermarkets. We don't do expensive brands. We do whatever's on offer for that particular week. My eldest son has started driving, which has then had an impact on my daughter's horse riding lessons that she enjoys. She's had to cut back and have less of those so that we can spread the costs. I'm really lucky that we've got a hot tub in the garden that we bought years ago, but at the moment we can't afford to turn it on because of the electricity, so that's just sitting empty.
Mapping out their past trips, the family's income has always meant nice holidays until now.
This year we can't afford to go on holiday this year. We don't have the funds for that.
What does it say that a teacher and an estate agent, both working full-time, can't afford to go on holiday this year?
I think a lot of people might not be surprised by that, because I think a lot of people are probably in a similar position, but maybe we just don't talk about it.
The cost of living crisis is impacting people across the UK. Some of the biggest shifts are in daily essentials like food and energy prices, which have both increased dramatically, making life in the UK more expensive. But one area that has been particularly hard hit is the constituency of Cannock Chase in Staffordshire. Wages here used to match the national average in 2021, but that's not the case anymore. Although wages across the UK have risen by 21.6% over 3 years, in Cannock Chase they've only increased by 8.4%.
Things like getting on the property ladder.
In a beauty salon, we meet Gabriella Rolfes-Shields, who earns almost spot on the national average salary. She works full-time in a children's home, but it's still not enough to buy her own house.
You're just constantly chasing your tail. That's how it feels. It doesn't ever get any better, really, does it? So you're trying to enjoy your life as well as save up for a deposit. You can't do both. So yeah, one day I'm probably going to have to cut back a lot more, maybe stop getting my nails done and my lashes done. But those are the things that I enjoy.
Behind the front doors of Cannock's shops and offices, you start to get an idea of how people are making ends meet.
Are you looking forward to your holiday?
Heidi Boot owns the beauty salon. Self-employed and with a small business, you could say she is the backbone of the middle classes.
I feel like everybody is stretching their appointments further to try and budget their money a bit better. It's a shame, to be honest, because people are working so hard for their money. They've paid all the bills and now they've got nothing left to spend on themselves.
And this is the middle class cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
But how widespread is this middle class despondency? We visit a second food project, this time where people pay £5 for a bag of essentials. Again, we hear they're increasingly supporting white-collar workers.
And the mushrooms are on the way as well, it's a shame.
Vicky Davis is the co-founder of the food project, but as a self-employed caterer, she too is fighting to keep her head above water.
It totally is ironic, but I think we've come to a point in our lives where everybody just expects it now. Never claimed anything from anyone all my life, yet why should I be made to feel like I've got to struggle some weeks or some months when I've got to rob Peter to pay Paul because the gas bill's coming?
Is that hard to admit, that you're working full-time as a caterer, self-employed, and yet you're struggling?
Yeah, of course. Why should we have to? Why should... I can't remember ever being in this situation when I was a child. I don't ever remember a country being in this kind of state that it's in.
As we film, a car turns in, then leaves. The organisers say it's someone who comes regularly, who may have been embarrassed to be seen by us using the food project. We find others will only talk if it's anonymously.
We've arranged to meet a woman who uses the food project once or twice a month. She's asked us not to show her face. We all know that for Brits, money is a taboo subject. But what we've found is that people with good jobs are reluctant to openly talk about being impacted by the cost of living.
We're calling the woman Jane. She works in an office and has a second job a few evenings a week. Her husband also works full-time.
Although we're not struggling, it's kind of embarrassing if a lot of people out there knew that you was going to a food bank as opposed to a normal supermarket.
Do you think that there is a sort of brewing resentment between people who work full-time and are now struggling and people who don't work?
Yes. Yes, definitely. Amongst a lot of people. The population of the country, because obviously there's a lot of people that are working, you work really hard, you'd work extra hours to make ends meet.
Back at the food project, we meet Bethany Jones. Neither she nor her partner work. Between them, they have 4 children and rely on benefits.
The money goes on my kids, to be honest, and I take them out, take them on holidays and all that sort of stuff with the money that I get. No, I'm not struggling at all, to be honest.
You're not working, your partner's not working, you're in receipt of benefits, you're not struggling, and yet some people who are in full-time employment tell us that they are struggling. What do you think about that?
I don't know, it makes me feel a bit bad. The fact that when people are working full-time and they're struggling, I do feel a bit bad for my situation as well as theirs.
The Prime Minister says action is being taken to give workers more money in their pockets.
Thank you.
But the government faces a politically volatile cocktail over fallout from its benefits U-turn and the voice of Middle England also wanting to be heard in the battlegrounds which brought it to power. Lisa Holland, Sky News, Cannock.